Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. Today, I have a good friend, talented filmmaker, Samuel from Pop Films Production. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Right now, we're speaking on a beautiful sunny day, which is, believe it or not, kind of funny because we're in the winter, right, in Canada.
Yeah,
During the
yeah,
week, during the week, it's so funny, man, because it's always gloomy. It's always like shrouded in darkness, which I guess is appropriate because it's a work week, right? But
yeah,
not for the kind of work we do, right? We love what we do. We're entrepreneurs, we're filmmakers, we're creatives, right? We're artists here to tell a story.
yeah.
And Samuel and I worked on our last creative project together. It was a film project that I actually was directing called Lady of the Night, co-produced with my friend Abil Michael. And Samuel is a mutual friend of Abil, and he came on, provided his knowledge of film production and his expertise in storytelling. I'm serious, man. You really moved me that day, like with your passion,
Yeah,
because typically, like, we'll have coordinators on set and they do their part, but you took it to another level. You came with your own equipment. um you filmed everything that was happening on set, things that I couldn't film because I was directing and providing the cinematography for the film. And then on top of that, you produced behind the scenes footage that will be eventually using for our marketing campaign. So amazing job, man. I want to know from you, you know how did you even begin like entering this industry? Like, what was the start for you? What was the spark of inspiration that got you into films?
Ooh. It's actually a very funny story because, like, all my life I've been an artist in all different fields, like painting, drawing, all sort of things. Then when COVID hit, I just came into Toronto. I had nothing to do because you couldn't get jobs at that time. It was So I decided to like start something different, just pick up the camera, film a couple things, try to get what I can and learn as much as I can. And YouTube
For
was a
sure.
good help. So that's where it started. Then I discovered like I had an eye for it. So I decided to make it a business. Why not?
Yeah, no, and that's 100% true. Like, that's how a lot of us start, including myself. When people ask me, like, I honestly thought there was some sort of formula when I was starting out. Like, I just thought needed to know the right people, and I still believe that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you are in control of what you can create, right? Like, just
Yeah.
editing the short film Lady of the Night, that again you were part of. I had these thoughts where I'm saying to myself, like, if you really want to tell a story, you'll find it in your heart. You'll find the people, the energy to make it
Yeah.
happen. And what you were doing, right, is exactly that. You picked up a camera and you eventually just started creating,
Mhm.
which is highly admirable. Did you come here to Canada by yourself, or were you with your family?
My family has been here about 2 years
Hmm.
ish. Yeah. So I came in just after they came. So it was just kind of reuniting with my family and meeting them again. So yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. What do they say about you entering the arts or having a hand in this industry? Like, are they worried? Do they have judgment?
The good thing is, my parents have been very, very supportive about my career and everything. Like before, I was going to do international relations, as diplomacy and all that. And midway through, I decided to switch it up, and they were very, very um, helpful and understanding. So that helped a lot and helped me grow. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, nice. And what about like your friends or colleagues or peers? Like, does anyone give you challenges in the industry or any challenges you have encountered in your come
Oh,
up?
the one thing is landing that first job because you have everybody who wants to hire you would want to know what you can do and want to see your work and everything. So getting that first paid job is gonna be hard, and it was really hard for me. I had to do a few free jobs just so I get something on my reel, get something to show, and eventually I was able to land the first. I think it was a music video, yeah, first music video, and which never actually came out to my surprise, but.
Oh no. Well, you had a feeling from day one they were like not gonna
Yeah,
make it happen.
it was an off production. So I knew that it wasn't really going to go through, but I did something and came out right. Then I had another music video, so I've kind of been building around that. Then working as a PA on set, trying to make connections. So the good thing is I've been able to meet the right people who have kind of helped me grow. For example, a Bill, we met on set both as PAs, and he got me on your production. So that was good and opportunity to meet you.
No, for sure. And how was your experience on my production? Seeing as you've been on other productions, did you have a good time? Were you
Oh
feel
yes, like
comfortable? Yeah,
it's always good when you have a very small production to work with.
100%. Yeah,
It's way different from having 50 people on set, everyone's doing their own thing. You can only talk to like five people who will listen, but we're only about how many? I think six on set. So
yeah, something like
we're
that.
able to have a personal encounter with everybody and understand where they come from and see different point of views, which
For
helps you
sure.
grow also. So that was good.
And I made it pretty inclusive, right? I wasn't I didn't bother
Yeah.
anyone or whatever. No, I try to keep it very friendly. Like again, just as new as you guys, right? Like I'm starting out. Obviously, I've built some
Mhm.
experience under my belt, but there's
Yeah.
no reason why you have to be arrogant or egotistical when you're on a set, right? Especially if you assume the role of a director. For me,
Yeah.
like when I was introduced to you for the first time, I told you, especially like first of all, I was grateful just having you on set, right? Just having another figure or another body, right? Another individual. You know this, like, yeah, it's highly advantageous, right? Highly beneficial
Yeah.
um, when you're working in film. But the fact that you brought your own equipment and you weren't just going to be standing around, you were actually going to be filming, behind the scenes and things like that. I said, wow, like this guy goes above and beyond. I love that passion. I love that intensity. It reminds me a lot of me, when I
We
used to be like
appreciate
on
it.
gigs, right? Like just always having the
Yeah.
camera ready, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
you're definitely on the right path, man. I'm really excited for you with regards to how far you've come. Getting that
Yeah.
first role, definitely very hard for me
Yeah.
too. Like getting that first gig. And I don't know if you listen to Gary Vee, but are you a fan of him? Do you know who Gary Vee is?
I actually know who he is, but I never listened to him.
No
I
worries.
hardly, yeah.
No worries. Yeah. So this guy's like, motor mouth, right? Like he's always
Yeah.
spitting out motivations, trying his best to like uh ignite the fire within all of us to see a better day, right? And
Yeah.
he says something like if you're pursuing entrepreneurship or anything um that you're responsible for entirely kind of thing, um with regards to like making an income for yourself, you're not going to see results for 2 to 5 years if you're lucky, at least. And I never took that serious until now, right? Like looking
Yeah.
back at my career, looking back, right, for yourself, it's like you don't start making bills like the first second day you start. You start making them like couple years, 3 4 down the years down the road, right?
Yeah.
But just before the podcast, we were discussing about your production company, right? I have a production company, 94 Productions, and I think it was so vital to create one, to
Yeah.
brand your content underneath one, and also use it as a business tactic, right? For networking.
Yeah.
Now, you, as I introduced you,
Mm.
you're the founder, you're the CEO, you're pretty much the um, head guy in Pop Films, right? Creative lead of Pop
Yeah.
Films production. Now, first of
Yeah.
all, I'm always fascinated with names and how they originated. How did you get the name? And when did
Oh.
you start? And what was your experience like?
The name came from my old kind of nickname.
Hmm.
Like, I was into like waves and everything. I had a whole YouTube channel back then, but it's been off for a while. And so my YouTube name back then was the Wave Pops. So I just kind of had to keep on the pops and go with it, ride with all through. It was kind of like a brand thing for me, and um, that was where the name came from. Yeah. So what was the second question again? Sorry, I
Yeah,
kind of
so I
lost
wanted
track.
to know. So now that we established that, and I knew waves, that we had like a little bit of a awkward like conversation about this because I thought his production name was Wave Pops, and I'm like, I swear that's come up. I think it's because you subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's what makes
Yeah,
sense
I
now.
guess so.
That's what it
Yeah, I
was
think so.
because I saw Wave Pops, and then I just assumed your Instagram was like that too because I when it would come up,
Oh,
I swear I don't know. It was just one of those moments. Anyway, I'm glad we got that clarified.
yeah,
But
no problem.
Pop Films production, I want to know, like, what was your experience? Like, why did you create this company, and like, how has your experience been so far?
Um, the thing is, trying to find work as an individual is way different from trying to find as an organization. So
Right.
when you create that brand for yourself, try to create that professional setting for yourself,
Hmm.
it gives you like foot ahead of other people and kind of makes you look more professional. And I took that to heart. Like I want to look more professional. I want to be professional on set and create more gigs, and eventually turn it into a big thing where I could be making big productions, big feature films, and all that, and have that as a business on the side, apart from being a creative, making films and all that.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure.
also
And yeah,
also to give like other young people the opportunity, because there's so many young people out there with great minds and visions to do things, but they just don't have the opportunity. So that was one of the things I took to
I'm so
mind.
happy you said that, man, because first thing when I saw your BTS video of my production, right? I said to you, I'm like, I don't know when, I don't know like how, because like, I can't see that far ahead. But in terms of like if there's another opportunity being on a production or whatever, I said to you, I'm like, I would love for you to be like a videographer. I think it's great exposure, and it'll be the start of another collaboration, right? And it's exactly to your point, right? Like always using that power, using that foundation to acquire more talent, to network, and to be inclusive, right? Because we're all in this
Yeah,
together. We're all trying to become creatives in our own right.
yeah,
It's a very very challenging industry, as we both know, right? So
yeah,
I'm really happy you have that attitude, man. Like it's really refreshing, to hear that positivity with this company you've established.
yeah.
Now I want to know, like, how are the clients been? Like, what do you focus on entirely? Are you music videos? Do you do like food and supply? Like, what kind of clients do you have right now?
Right now I kind of do everything, but I'm still in the stage where I'm trying to figure out what I want to specialize in professionally. But right now I do everything from music videos to short films to like the BTS work I did for you, and food videography kind of thing, brand promotions and all that. So I'm still trying to see if I want to stick to feature films and short films or just music videos and all that. So I'm still trying to find that midpoint and that ground to go with. Yeah.
That's great. And looking at your Instagram page, just doing some like research myself on your background. Um, you say cinematographer, filmmaker in your bio.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, like, what made you kind of classify yourself as this role, and like, do you see yourself transitioning to more of the producing, directing, writer role eventually, or are you doing that now?
Um. So, first of all, for the cinematography, why I decided to go with that is, like I said earlier, I've always been an artist. I like to like paint pictures and create images. So, I feel like that gives me more room to do more of the creating a picture
Right.
than drawing up a plan. Because in the director's point of view, you have to like kind of make sure everything goes right and create the whole um
Flow
flow of yeah of
the
work.
project, yeah.
So but as a cinematographer, all I have to really do, I have more room to create an image, create the picture I want to see, create a
Right.
feel to the director's
Hmm.
point of view. So that's what I want to kind of stick with. And about writing and directing and producing, I don't know yet. I've been working on feature film, for writing is not really my thing. It's been hard. I have to like get source out for other writers to work and co-write films. But maybe one day it might click. I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's see how it goes. Yeah.
No, for sure. What you're saying is you're more comfortable, right, in the role that you're in,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like that's the whole point of different roles on set. Because I'm always
Yeah.
fascinated with what other, the costume designer, right, or the script supervisor.
Yeah.
Like the one that we had on our set. She was over the wall. Like she was just happy and thrilled to be a script supervisor, right?
Yeah.
And I know people that would never want to be a director because there's just way too much pressure on them. And I would know because even just that small production, like there's just constant questions, like on all angles, both creative, both logistic, um, and you have to know how to manage that all.
Yeah.
But you also have to want it, right? Like you have to like be in that position, right? Like you just said, you have to be aware of who you are and what you want.
Yeah.
I assume the director role because I really love the creative process, like from the beginning to the end, especially if it's a story I wrote. Like I
Hmm.
like the flow of it and being in control, right? And
Yeah.
eventually, like working with a cinematographer like yourself or anyone else, um, that's a different kind of conversation, right? Like it's like you, like I entrust you with the camera, just like you entrust me with the vision.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean necessarily mean you're limited to that specific quality, right? Like you can provide me with the vision as well. You can give me tips,
Yeah.
and I can give you like direction as well with the camera. That's probably why you saw me on this last production as a camera operator, like a cinematographer, is because
Yeah.
I want to also be comfortable like having that conversation, right? If I need to with a cinematographer about things.
Yeah.
But that's really cool, man. Like, you're being aware and like knowing what your goals are um, is highly beneficial, right?
Yeah.
To your ultimate purpose, like as a creative. So, what kind of projects like are you that you've worked on or you are about to work on that are you most excited or proud of? Was it a particular music
Ooh.
video or a short film?
Um, First of all, like looking back at my work so far, it's seeing the growth alone is kind of a good feeling. But I'd say probably the project I'm working on right now, it's a short film. I'm still in the writing kind of creative process. I've filmed a couple scenes, just kind of trying to see the feel of it and how it will
Oh,
look.
nice.
But yeah, that's what I would say. But I have a short film currently that I'm trying to push to festivals and all that that I worked on I think last year.
Okay.
So it's those are like my two babies right now.
Is this the
And
one that I saw in your reel? There was like purple, like a purple color correction.
oh, that one was for the short film I'm working on right now.
Oh, okay, great.
Now, yeah. Then I don't think I have the first short film on my reel.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's
they stuck out to me the most, those shots. Because again, like you could separate them, right? You know what's
yeah,
client, what you know what I mean, like client work and corporate,
yeah.
whatever as you call it, and you know what's like artistic, kind of independent projects, right? There's a
Yeah.
different feel to it. And your acting, that was you, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
your acting was pretty spot on, and I liked it.
Oh,
Have you ever
appreciate it,
considered
man.
acting? Have you ever considered acting?
No, I don't
No.
want to go that
Oh,
route.
okay, 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 okay. No, because I'm telling you, man, like it was pretty convincing. Considering it was just like some sort of test footage, uh,
Yeah.
that wasn't intended to be for final use. But yeah, man, like pretty believable, man. You got a lot of internal dialogue going on, expressive moments. Again, it was very few seconds that I saw like playback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always curious, man. Like me, people ask me, like, would you ever be considered an actor or want to get into acting? Some people might think I am an actor, and I'm like, like as fascinating as it is, I just love being behind the camera and just controlling
Yeah.
you know what I mean, man? Like being involved with the story. Look, if I
Yeah.
like become one of those guys, like, you know, make cameos, you know what I mean? Either in my movie or someone else's, I'd love to do that, right? Like as
Sure.
a tribute or an inspiration to someone. But regarding like actually acting full out, you know what I mean? That's why on Lady of the Night you didn't see me like take on any of the roles because I there's just so much going on behind the camera that it's like, nah, I'm good. But that's great, man. Well, I'm really happy. You explained your journey and like how far you've come with Wave Pop Films. Sorry, Pop
Yeah.
Films Production. Wave Pop. What's your YouTube called? That's why I'm getting
It's
confused.
the wave pops, yeah.
Oh, it is the Wave Pops. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got that covered again.
Yeah,
Take some time with me, guys.
no worries.
Um, but I want to know, like, so because you mentioned it before, right? Well, we both kind of agreed on this: the challenging process, career journey, whatever you want to call it, right? This industry of being an artist or
Yeah.
being in the art as an artist. So, as many people struggle to make themselves known in the creative space, right? Either from fear or competition itself. What message would you tell them, man?
Uh what I'd say is keep being true to yourself. Don't try to like change yourself because you can only be you and you have to put
Mm,
yourself in your work. That's the only way you stand out. If not, you look like every other person.
true.
And nobody wants to see the same film, the same music video, the same kind of artwork every time. If you see the same thing, nobody wants to look at yours. So you try to put yourself into your art and show your personality in that. And eventually someone will notice it. And once someone notices it and sees your work and sees your art, it's up from there. There's nothing that could hold you back anymore. Trust me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm so happy you said that point because I'm always arguing that even with the fanciest edits, right? Or the presets, whatever you have, right? We have access to everything as artists. It's the story that matters, right? It's what you're trying to
Yeah,
convey. Because you're right, you can make anything really look like on YouTube if you think about it. But what's behind it, right? Like people can always detect the heart of the story, right? Like the heart of the creator of what's happening. And if it's just by the numbers, right? You're not going to stand out and you're going to blend in, right? There's just so many movies, TV shows, even content being produced now that just goes out the window because it just doesn't feel different.
yeah,
And again, it's very hard, right? Like in this space, especially, like everybody's competing, like to
yeah,
be known, right? But when it does stand out, it's like, damn, like that's something to be um, reckoned with. Like that's something to be considered and not to be dismissed easily. So that's really cool that you said that, man.
yeah.
And I want to know, as like speaking of creative, as a creative yourself, a filmmaker, what is your intention, or what is your intention to become one? Like, what was the whole reason behind it?
Uh, like I said, it was never really like a career path for me. I always just it was something that I do on the side when it first started, but eventually it's became serious. Like I started seeing my work, started seeing the growth, and noticed that well, why not do this for real this time, not just
Right.
on the side and give it more time and grow even faster. So that was kind of how it started for me.
Nice. And then with regards to like your filmmaking career or going forward, I should say, like, what is the legacy you want for people who follow your journey? Like, what do you want to leave behind as a filmmaker?
Ooh.
This is my
Like
favorite.
yeah, yeah,
This is what I
for
ask
me,
myself every day, by the way.
yeah, I just want people to like know me without ever meeting me. That's what I want my films to be. I
That's
just
smart.
want it to reflect who I am and the
Mhm.
type of person I am without actually you having to see me. You know that okay, this is I know this line of work. I know who this person is, even though I have no face to it, but I just know this is from this person. That's what I'm trying to put out. Yeah.
I really like that you said that because that's a goal of mine too, and I hope really that comes. I think that's come across to a lot of people. They've voiced it to me that when they
Yeah.
watch something of mine, they just know I made it, or they know I had some hand in it because, like you
Yeah.
said, your kind of voice, your message is in that story, right? Your heart
Yeah.
isn't, if you will. Um, and that was really well put, man. I really like that idea. It's like knowing who you are without actually meeting you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great answer. So on that note, I want to thank you again, Samuel from Pop
Hey,
Films Production, for coming on the podcast to discuss the journey. I think you have a lot going for you. It's just a
yeah,
matter of
thanks, man.
hustling, right, man? Like just keep at it,
Yeah.
connecting with people like ourselves. Always, just expanding that network. And truly honored, by the way, like that you reach out to me and you consider me as a point of reference or in a piece of advice with regards to your
Yeah.
reels or your business projects. It means a lot. So I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
that face
Yeah,
to
no
face or
worries,
virtual.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
um,
never stop learning, trust me. Everybody could help.
Everybody could help, man. Yeah. And again, at the end of the day, it's always suggestions and opinions, and
Yeah.
you have to take the good with the bad. But the important thing, like you said, man, is just that eagerness to learn, right? That willingness to
Mm-hmm.
always be constantly growing. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
again, Samuel from Pop Films Production. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast and sharing your journey, your
Yeah,
wisdom, and
man.
your motivation with all us creatives. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
man. Thanks for having me. It's great.
Take care.